and gentlemen, my name is NBZ, and welcome back to Five Guys and a Gigalith. In the last episode, our heroes came across a team of time travelers who foretold the future and of Five Guys and a Gigalith's eventual tyranny. With the course of history now presumably altered, our heroes decide to take a stroll, an evening stroll if you will, on the beach to contemplate and think over the consequences of what has occurred. But poor Potato, clearly not a fan of long walks on the beach, decides it would be much more apt to lie down in the sand and bathe in the glow of the moon. And just as he is on the verge of drifting into a deep, deep slumber, yes, ladies and gentlemen, Fire Emblem music, which can mean only one thing: battle has begun, and we must mobilize quickly as Potato, so swift as the coursing river beside the sea, throws stealth rocks up, as Claydol does also. But before he has even the time to blink, a foul-smelling coffin, clearly thousands of years old, crawls its way out of the sand and onto the beach, taking the rock blast as if it were nothing. Now Potato, with Sturdy still intact and a Kustap explosion waiting and for the ready, decides to leave this task to McBoss instead, going into him, predicting the Will-O-Wisp, and aiming for it to absorb into his fiery skin. But McBoss is tricked, for this is no normal Cofagrigus. This is smarter than the average dead man. He goes for the nasty plot, a move named very appropriately, for this situation is about to get extremely nasty, as McBoss, for a second time, attempts with Smidgen's Bane to crush all Smidgens to the ground, is once again unsuccessful. Has he not trained enough with this new mop of his? What is happening? How is every time he uses it results in spectacular failure? I do not know, ladies and gentlemen, but what I do know is that this opposing team does not bend time like the previous, but instead bends space as the Cofagrigus sets up the Trick Room, which cripples the majority of Five Guys and a Gigalith who pride themselves on speed, but not Potato, as he switches in, attempting perhaps to maybe live a Shadow Ball to activate the Kustap the next turn, but alas, he is unsuccessful, as a nasty plot boosted stab Shadow Ball takes him down. It now falls to Incredible to use the very concept that Five Guys and a Gigalith was founded on to get them out of this oh-so-sticky situation. Priority, ladies and gentlemen, and it is priority that forces the dusty, decrepit demon that is Cofagrigus from the field. So Shaman comes in to eat up the jet. That still doesn't mean it's not getting wet. Would I ever have this thing as my pet? Of course not. I'd go get a dog from a vet, but I need no dog, for I have McBoss. And whatever is his win is of course your loss. And try as he might to live a seed flare, he falls to a hedgehog with stupid green hair. Now Hitmonchan, a drinks connoisseur, a fan of the fruitiest of punches, pulls out his straw, lodges it in Shaman's back, and sucks forth its very essence, leaving a taste in his mouth like no other before. Some crazy, strange mixture of Mountain Dew, Iron Brew, and Vanilla Coke. But he has little time to dwell on the taste as Claydol switches in, and surprisingly is faster. Perplexed by such a situation, Hitmonchan is not going to let himself be bested as he takes the Psychic with the special defense drop in tow and adds an even chillier tone to the air surrounding them as he freezes his foe. But alas, this spider-eyed creature lives the assault, as I Will Kick You is forced to go for the Mach Punch. Will it kill? Will it take it down? No! Smidgens are plenty, ladies and gentlemen, 10 HP apiece. And we are going down. But the ship has not yet sunk, and there is one who has something to say about it. It is of course Kong, who forces his way across the beach, only to be met with the cold realization that Claydol is in fact scarfed, and goes for Psychic once more, not being powerful enough to take Nidoking down, but certainly bruising him and denting his pride. Not that his pride could get any lower, For when Five Guys and a Gigalith were out on the streets, the only thing he could do to survive, to scrape some money together, was to dress up as Barney the dinosaur and go to children's birthday parties where they taunted him and tore at his horn and laughed in his face. Poor Kong indeed. And now, the victim of foul play from the opposing Umbreon, he falls. But now, with the slowest of the slow Pokemon remaining, the fastest of the fast enters the field as the fucking man U-turns straight upon the Aggron, setting up Incredible to place final judgment on these space-bending assassins. With the authority of Poseidon, Incredible leaps from the water, slides across the sand, and drops a waterfall onto the dashing knight, and dashes his hopes with a second. Oh, the salt water has done him good. He has been infused with the essence, the power of the gods, as in comes Umbreon, tries to touch him with a foul play, but fails as he drops yet another waterfall. They flow, they fall, they flow, they fall, they flow, they fall upon Cophagus, and down he goes into the sand once again from whence he came, Aggron, the final assailant. With Incredible now mummified, it is up to the fucking man to take charge and throw himself into the line of fire to do what is best for the team as he falls to the head smash, but not in vain, for the final and mighty Super Power ends the Aggron. You have been watching Five Guys and a Gigalith. If you enjoyed, then let your finger fall upon your mouse and strike that like button. Until next time, goodbye.